There are five major things that I would anticipate the finance minister to come out with in our budget later this week. The first three have to do with measures to boost investor confidence, and the second has to do with ensuring tax certainty. From an investor confidence as well as spurring growth standpoint, I would expect that the finance minister will consider a reduction in the overall corporate tax rate. Today, corporates are taxed at approximately 35%, which is an extremely high rate when you compare India with the rest of the world. Reducing that rate to 25% is something that the industry has been expecting, and in fact, it is in keeping with what the finance minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, had laid out several years back in his budget plan. Secondly, the abolition of the minimum alternative tax, which is at 20%, is something that the government can consider. With a reduction in tax rates, with overall phasing out of deductions as well as exemptions, and with increased compliance, the minimum alternative tax is something which is resulting in a significant cost to a number of taxpayers. Moving this or taking it out completely from the statute books is a measure that will boost economic growth significantly. Alternatively, the government can look at ensuring a credit of the minimum alternative tax for an undetermined period rather than for the current cap of years that exists. Finally, from a rate standpoint, moving the dividend distribution tax from a tax paid by the company to a withholding, which is completely creditable to the tax holder, is a measure that the government can take as well. As an alternative, the government can ensure a credit of the dividend distribution tax, especially in multi-layered companies structures, to ensure that there is no leakage by the time that the dividend finally reaches the shareholder. From a tax certainty standpoint, it is expected that the government will introduce a direct tax code in the coming months. This has been on the anvil for a number of years, and this is something that the government must do, both with a view to ensure certainty, because there have been a number of court judgments, contrary views on a number of positions, and the government will do well to relook at a number of the provisions and ensure that there is certainty and clarity to taxpayers. Secondly, businesses have evolved over time. We're moved to a digital economy. There are different modes of doing business, different structures which are in place, and India is a signatory and one of the adopters of the BEPS program. And therefore, introducing a direct tax code which incorporates a number of these measures, whether it's significant economic presence or whether it is any of the other measures which have been agreed by India under the BEPS program, into the DTC will bring a lot of clarity to taxpayers as well as to investors.